just when we thought things really could not get any weirder. As if wearing a ball gown to a movie premiere was not strange enough. And then there was that Jamie Kern-Lima podcast appearance. Anyone? Things were already uncomfortable, and then Harper's Bazaar revealed that Meg allegedly has people announce her title when she enters a room. Preposterous. There is almost nothing worse that could have come out for her public image at this moment. Truly, this is about the worst exposure imaginable right now. She has already been labeled a liar, see the Oprah interview. A bully, according to countless staff accounts across multiple continents. And a business and creative failure, just ask Spotify, Disney, and several others. Now add one more thing to the list: delusional, pretentious, and completely out of touch. Under no circumstances is announcing your title every time someone is nearby considered normal behavior. It is the opposite of normal. No wonder people seem confused, shell-shocked, or even alarmed when she shows up. You can see it clearly in the With Love, Meghan series. People often look bewildered when they first appear on screen, like they are trying to process what is happening. We have seen it repeatedly, where someone looks startled and Meg immediately moves in for a hug, while they are still clearly taken aback. It is not hard to imagine why. Apparently, someone is loudly announcing Duchess of Sussex as she enters the room. This is the same woman who mocked a curtsy to the Queen of England, a deeply respected and beloved figure, comparing it to a cheap dinner theatre experience. The audacity of then demanding title announcements as if it is standard practice is staggering. It is not standard practice. It never has been. This also explains why so many people find this couple off-putting. Very few people have genuinely warmed to Harry and Meghan. Those who have either share similar narcissistic traits and see proximity to them as a status boost, or they have been temporarily dazzled by carefully curated charm. Anyone can put on a pleasant face for a short time, especially when private jets, luxury homes, or influence are involved. Others may simply have fallen victim to love bombing. And there is no shame in that. Narcissistic tactics can be very hard to spot in real time. But when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it has been over 5 years since they stepped away from royal life, and they still have not established a strong professional or personal reputation. By now, they should have. The repeated attempts to have associates publicly vouch for Meghan feel forced and hollow. Despite podcasts, friend proximity, and retelling her story yet again, none of it can outweigh the damage done by this title announcement revelation. You might wonder why this matters so much. The reason is simple: it is painfully performative. It is hypocritical and reeks of desperation to cling to royal status for commercial benefit. After publicly stepping back from royal duties and insisting on privacy, this behavior feels both cringe-inducing and inappropriate. These announcements were reportedly made in non-formal settings, including to groups of 12 or 13-year-old girls and to interviewers inside private homes. That is the key issue here: non-formal settings. That is why this has landed so badly. What exactly is she trying to achieve? It is bizarre. It is absurd. And frankly, it is comical, especially given her ongoing attempt to rebrand as a serious businesswoman. This behavior directly contradicts Queen Elizabeth's clear stance that royal titles should not be used for commercial purposes. Using them repeatedly in casual, private environments only amplifies the controversy. Had this occurred at a formal event or speech, it might have raised fewer eyebrows. But in these specific contexts, combined with everything else this year, it has become deeply damaging. On top of that, this is not even standard royal protocol. Traditionally, guests are introduced to royals, not the other way around. This has led many to conclude that this habit is not rooted in tradition at all, but rather in ego. It also clashes badly with the warm, hug-everyone image Meghan tries to project. The contrast makes her seem overly managed, inconsistent, and insincere. Is she the barefoot, friendly, relatable figure who wants everyone comfortable, or is she someone who insists on being elevated above others through titles? People already know who she is. There is no practical reason for the announcement. The only explanation is that she enjoys how it makes her feel. With this single ego-driven decision, she has done serious damage to her reputation. Because let's be honest, Americans do not use titles this way, and no British royal would have initiated this. Which means Meghan herself requested it. That alone speaks volumes. This does nothing to help her already fragile public image. No matter how she rationalizes it as a legal name, the reality is how it comes across. And it comes across as absurd, inappropriate, and tone-deaf. Looking back at the year as a whole, it is clear that her strategy was to soften public perception by emphasizing friendships and social closeness. We have seen repeated appearances with Emma Grede, Victoria Jackson, Kelly Zachvan, and others. She implied friendships that, in reality, were often loose work connections or brief acquaintances. Even guests on With Love, Meghan were largely not long-term friends, despite how it was presented. The intent seemed clear: counter-bullying allegations and appear more likable. But all of that effort has been undone by this title announcement issue. The consequences are real. Meghan's ventures depend heavily on likability and public trust. This episode reinforces the very narratives she claims to reject: hypocrisy, diva behavior, and inauthenticity. It sends a clear message that for her, image, status, and privilege matter more than humility or self-awareness. And that is why this is one of the most damaging revelations about Meghan Markle in years. Leave your thoughts in the comments.